first raw, and I couldn't give a toss about the law.
Welcome back, Rare Talks. You already know what it is. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't, make sure you go over to the Spotify and check out the exclusive episodes that we have on the Spotify. And today's episode is we're doing a rare reactions to a man that was killed in Brixton a few years ago that was shooting a music video. Now, before this video starts, let me just put this out there to you and to every single young man that's watching. You don't have to throw your life away for a blade or a gun. You don't have to be a gangster to get respect. You don't have to be a bad man by showing your knife or showing how bad you are or putting in work. That doesn't make you bad. Let's get that right. Let's get our families out of poverty. That's the first thing. Let's get our families out of poverty and make our mum and dad proud of us. We're letting certain stereotypes of us make us act a certain way that brings about no benefit. There's a lot of young men sitting in prison wishing they can go back on the decisions they made, but they can't. Once you pull that blade out and you pull it in a man's chest, once you pull that gun out and you shoot a man, just know that there's no going back after that. And what I mean by that is that you've entered a lifestyle that only has two places or maybe three places: mental health, death, or prison. Now, as we'll see with this young man, prison is the place for him. So with this story, sad about this story is that the young man got his sentence reduced. Now, everyone's thinking, what's sad about that? Well, the sad thing about that is that he took someone's life. So a man who murdered a motorcyclist taking part in a music video has had the time he spends in jail before being considered for release reduced. Brian McNeil, 20, was handed a life sentence with a minimum of 24 years after admitted murdering Shane Jerome, 23, in Brixton, South London in July 2021. Appeal judges have reduced the minimum term to 20 years and 247 days. McNeil, who was 80 when he stabbed Mr. Jerome to death, argued in his appeal that the minimum term imposed by Judge Sarah Monroe at the Old Bailey in Mel was too long.
Smackdown first raw, and I couldn't give a toss about the law.
Now, let me just say something to you. This is what makes me laugh about the streets. He's saying it's too long, but brother, you was the one who shanked him in the chest. Like, do you think there's no consequences to your actions? And this is what it just makes me like a little bit upset. Like, when you pull that knife out, you pull that gun out, any sentence you get is a normal sentence because you was willing to do the crime. Now be willing to do the time. You're a bad boy. You're a gangster. You're a bad man. You can do anything you put your mind to. So now do that prison time because now it's time for the prison time to come. Why are you scared? Oh, it's too long. It's too long. You took a man's life, bro. It would have been better for you to not do it and then not get no sentence. Wouldn't it have made more sense? Instead, you wanted to be a gangster, and these are the consequences of being a gangster. This is what this life comes with, and a lot of people are not ready for what it actually comes with. So barrister Rajiv Menmon, KC, who represented McNeil, argued that the Judge Monroe had given enough weight to mitigating factors, including McNeil's age and the fact that he had been a victim of human trafficking. This is what's funny. The little boy's playing victim after he's the perpetrator about, oh, I was groomed, I was sent to OT. Bruv, all of us know what OT is, bro. You went OT on your own free will about you was groomed and you was human trafficked. Human trafficked where? You wanted to sell drugs. Don't let these little boys fool you. Don't let these little boys fool you. Appeal judges Lord Justice Wadaby and Mr. Justice Garnham and Judge Andrew Lockhart upheld his appeal against sentencing after considering the case at a Court of Appeal hearing in London on Friday. Mr. Jerome of Fulton Heath, South London, had been part of a convoy of vehicles featuring in a music video when he was attacked, judges heard. McNeil from Vauxhall ran up to Mr. Jerome and stabbed him in the chest with a knife. The judges were told. Mr. Jerome's girlfriend, Salika, had watched him die. McNeil had also swung the knife at a second man on a quad bike who was also part of the convoy, judges heard. Judge Monroe said McNeil had been involved with a gang and must have been believed that the people involved in the video were linked with rivals, although there was no evidence anywhere. I remember this murder because it was called an accident murder. He thought they were ops and he jumped out and moved mad. The thing is, they weren't ops. They were just guys from another area, like Heath. They were from Fulton Heath. They weren't on nothing. Just on a bike in Brixton. Well, there's two lessons we can learn from this. The first lesson is that Carrying a knife will make you do decisions that you wouldn't usually do if you never had that knife. Now, also, a problem with this all is that it wasn't only that, it was the drugs and probably the weed he was smoking and the music he was talking and the parents and the mashed up background that he came from. Because we all know where the little youth came from. He came from Brixton. He came from a deprived part of Brixton. And by the looks of the music videos, he looked very rough. He looked like he was living rough. Whether he was or not, he just looked like he was living rough. And that in itself is another issue that we need to be considered right here. Number 2, if you do pull out that knife and you do walk with it, because this is my advice to everyone out there, don't roll with the weapon, because if rolling with the weapon will make you want to use it. And that's how it goes. That's the street life. The streets have no morals and no compass. We come from a place where we think people are normal. People ain't normal. People are actually suffering. People are crazy. People are not normal people. Condolences to the victim's family and for the fact that his girl had to sit there and watch him die. I think 24 years was appropriate for him, even though he pleaded guilty. I still think it was appropriate. And the reason why I say that is because he's taken another individual's life. 20 years is still a long time in prison, even though he was only 18. That means he's going to come out when he's like, he'll come out when he's 38 or maybe 38 and a half, which is a long time to spend in prison, but he's going to come out one day. Now, I promise all you young people, yeah, the same block you're banging for, no one will be there when you come back. No one will be even there in the next 3 to 4 years. Life moves on. The block that you bang for does not exist after 5 or 10 years of your life. After you start having children and the world starts becoming your oyster, you don't even think about the area you came from. You think about where you're going, not where you came from. Yeah, I came from a place. Like, I came from Tulsa. I came from the hood. But that doesn't mean I have to die in the hood, bro. Like, my life is not... I'm a byproduct of what Tulsa created. So I love where I came from. But let me put this out there to you. That's not the place where I would die for, because I've traveled the world and seen the world as a beautiful place. Yeah, man, I feel sorry for everyone in this, because, you know, the young man's wasted his life. Another young man's life was taken. The funny thing about all of this, and this is why I said the street life is so treacherous. You want to hear the most treacherous thing about all of this? That guy wasn't even an op. So you just got down a man for no reason. Imagine murdering a man for no reason. My man's dead, but for no reason. He didn't do anything to anyone, but he's dead now. And this is why I said the street life, it doesn't even make sense. We're out there just taking lives for no reason. And that young man throwing his life away, there's so many things that he could, in positive things or things that he could have achieved. You know what I'm saying? Starting a family. Now his mum's going to be old and wrinkly when he comes out of jail, probably be sick. Maybe his family won't even make it. If he's got siblings, they're going to grow up thinking, where's our brother? It's so funny because people look at the street life as it only affects the person that goes to prison. It affects so many people. And the person whose family who's died, they're upset. They're sitting there thinking, what? My man got his sentence reduced. What Trini gets out? So that's another palaver now. Because you're going to get out one day and what people are going to be pouring, what, champagne over? Yeah, free my dog. Yeah, free my dog. Like, yeah. We celebrate the badness, but we don't celebrate the goodness. When our brethren starts a business, we're not going to celebrate that, but we'll celebrate when a man's getting out of prison because of a crime that he committed of shooting people and genocide to his own people. We celebrate genocide to our own people, but we don't celebrate success of successful people in our communities. This is the reason why we're failing, bro. We never want to help each other. We always want to kill each other, and we always look down on each other. Oh, what? Look at him, look at him, look at him. Like, I buy a rollie tomorrow, I'm dead. Why? Because they want to rob me. Who? My own people. He's a prick. I'm going to take his thing off him. All right, cool, no problem. You kill me, stab me in my chest, I do 20 years in prison. They really need to start giving out life sentences out here where man never gets out of prison. I don't think that you taking a life, you should be able to come back out on road. You deserve to... The same life you took, now you're going to have to pay for that life. Because nobody forced you. It's not like the youths moved to you and you shanked them. You went to them and committed the act. And even when you read the story of what happened, yeah, like the youths on the bike in Brixton shooting the video, the youths riding on a Santander bike, saw the youths, jumped off, and said, what are you lot saying? And he said, what? And before you know it, he stabbed my man in his chest. It wasn't even like, you know what I'm saying? Or chased him. And his girlfriend watched him die. I think he was caught at the lights or something, and the youth was riding past. Them senseless murders that don't even make sense. Like man's dead. The man don't even know why man's really even dead. Like, man thought man was the ops. Man ain't even the ops. But the man's mum will ask him to come and help. And man will argue with their mum about, I ain't got time to help you. But they'll be out there riding a Santander back trying to kill innocent people. Like, you kill a civilian, you deserve to go jail for life, and you never deserve to get out. I'm not saying gang violence is right, But killing an innocent person that has nothing to do with the roads, it shows you how much of a sucker you are and how much of a wimp you are. Couldn't even get your ops down. You had to go get a civilian down. That ain't gangster. The hell? Like, comment, and subscribe. What's your thoughts? Do you think he should have got his sentence lowered, or do you think he deserved the 24 years he got? Let me know in the comment section below.